Welcome to Paradigm Shift. I am your host, Marlo. Today, we are going to talk about a little maybe out there subject, something that you might not have ever thought about. I'm trying to fix my lighting. And that is mental energies or brain waves from thought and how they affect your relationships with people. This is honestly something I was thinking about back in high school when I grew up and I would think a lot. And I know a lot of my videos talk about straying away from thinking, but you know, I was young and I was coming up with theories and I was really into psychology, and I was always interested in watching people and just seeing them and how they act. I was really shy growing up, so I would watch people a lot. I was more of a people watcher, and I would realize, oh wow, they're doing this, so this might mean this, and you know, they're looking away, so they might be lying. And I don't necessarily like to follow that type of thing these days, but there are still some theories that I think about. Anyways, this one theory is basically about how our brain waves and our thoughts can create negative or positive energy towards someone. And I think we don't understand the power of our thinking and our energies. I think it's more energy, although I believe thinking has a part in it, because sometimes we think about someone negatively or positively, and that creates a sort of energy field that I believe can connect to them. And let me explain that further. So this is more for deeper relationships, whether it's a family member, a friend, a romantic relationship, a partner. But it can also work, or not work, but it can also happen with people that maybe you just met, or even you met them online, or you're playing a video game. And that's why I don't like to do things like trolling people online, or I don't like to cause disturbances and talk shit or argue with people online, because maybe that's another episode. Online is another episode, because that's just a whole different stratosphere of thinking. So I don't want to get too deep into it. But basically what I believe is that when we have a relationship with someone, whether it's a friend, a family member, the deeper that relationship is, the more of a connection you form. And what I mean by connection is you and that person have a sort of link, this unseen energy that is shared between you. And sometimes you'll be thinking about the person and a thought will pop up in your head, like maybe you suddenly feel a negative vibe towards them. And I believe that vibe could have started on their end, or it could have started on your end, right? You're just passing these vibes back and forth. So one thing right off the bat is I want you to think of somebody that you have a negative connection to, right? So someone that you maybe constantly think about negatively. And I want you to just think about them, and I want you to clear the air. And I want you to say, it's all good. We don't have to be friends, but it's all good with us. Our energies are clear. And I sometimes actually do this with people. I mean, I don't do it as much anymore because I usually don't have that relationship with people, a negative sort of relationship. Of course, there are times where a negative thought will pop up into my head about a person, and maybe I'll think about that for a minute or a couple of seconds, and then I'm able to put myself in the moment, and that disappears. It's not even that I start thinking, oh no, that I shouldn't be thinking that way. I just put myself in the moment, and then I don't feel that negative energy anymore. That's all you really have to do, is put yourself in the moment. But another step to take it further would be to think of that person, take a conscious breath, and just in your head or even out loud say, "It's all good, homie," or "It's all good, mom," or "It's all good, girlfriend," "It's all good, boyfriend," whatever you want to say, whatever that person is to you. You can say their name and just say, "We're good. I hope you're happy. I hope everything's going well." It's like, I understand you are not talking to them, but in a way you are. And I think these energies can be passed to people. So to put it in a deeper perspective, I think this happens with relationships a lot. They're partners or intimate relationships, romantic relationships. You know, maybe one person is more, what am I saying? One person has more anxiety, is more anxious, is more fearful. Maybe both are, but sometimes it happens where one person's very anxious and is thinking all these thoughts and these negative thoughts and these fears. You know, what if my partner is cheating on me? What if there's someone hitting on them right now? What if they miss their ex? What if? And while there's no way for us to understand or know if any of those things are true, and even if they are true, how that they probably wouldn't affect the relationship, it's that anxiety, it's that energy. And anxiety is a negative energy. And it's that energy that is projecting to your partner. And it's like this connection, like this unseen, invisible connection that's like, right? This is you, this is your partner. You think the negative thought, and if you think it deep enough and you put so much energy in it, it starts to pass, like more and more of that energy passes, right? Then they start to feel anxious and they might not know why. And they might start thinking certain thoughts, fears and anxieties, and then they pass it back to you. And then all of a sudden your relationship is just this energy, this negative or anxious energy going back and forth and back and forth. So you have to be conscious of what energies you're giving any person in the world, right? This could make someone who maybe you haven't talked to, maybe, you know, during the pandemic, this has happened to me. A lot of my good friends have kind of fallen off the earth. And even though I tried to reach out to them, you know, we haven't met up in 6 months, a year. And I understand that everybody is going through hard things and hard times, and maybe we have just drifted apart, and that is okay as well. That's another video talking about relationships that are ending or new relationships, right? Just let me say something really quickly about relationships. So if your relationship with someone is ending, that means that the universe is giving you space for another relationship to come in. And this is all behind the scenes. But anyways, we can talk about that in another video. I don't want to get too lost. So back in high school, I thought about this theory, but I called it the cell phone theory, right? When cell phones were just coming out, I think I was thinking about that. And I was having all these moments, especially with women, where like I really liked a woman or a girl in high school. And I would be thinking, like I would be at the mall, then I would be thinking about her so intensely, and she would show up. She would be there, and I would start talking to her, and I'd be like, dude, I was just thinking about you. This is so trippy. And it happened so many times that I started to develop this theory. And I wasn't really into spirituality at the time, but it was just kind of like a psychological theory. But now, as I'm getting into spirituality, I'm realizing these connections, to me, are true. Whether they are or not, I think it's very helpful to clear the energy with everybody in your life. Doesn't matter who it is. Maybe you had a traumatic past with someone and they wronged you, or you feel like they wronged you. And maybe they think you wronged them and you haven't talked, but every so often you think about that person and you can't stop hating them. You can't stop thinking negative about them. Maybe you have parents or a parent who wronged you or didn't treat you well, or you felt didn't love you enough, or you wanted something else out of them. It's nice to just clear the energy with them, because they might be feeling horrible about it. We never know how people are feeling, is the simple truth. We can't see things from other people's eyes. So maybe you think they did you wrong, but then they think you did them wrong. And then, they're just hoping that one day you guys will get back together, or maybe not even, right? Maybe you don't have to go that far, but it's always good. It's a relief for you, and it's a relief to the other person if you just clear the energy. Then you can leave room for good energy, positive energy to flow between you and them. And so, getting back to the cell phone theory, right? It's like we have a phone, we dial someone's number or we text them, and they could be across the country, right? And then with, I'm not 100% sure how it works, but it's basically a signal that bounces off a satellite or some sort of tower, and then it bounces to their phone. That's all invisible, pretty much, except for the towers and the satellite. So is it so insane or out there to think that our brains are powerful, misunderstood? We're not 100% sure what's going on. We don't use like, I don't know what it is, 10% or something of our brains. Is it so crazy to think that maybe our brains are as powerful or more powerful than a cell phone, which we made, and that there are energy signals being sent out, right? I think you can kind of see this in a way when you see someone on the street and they might have some sort of psychological problems or mental illness, but maybe they look normal and you feel a bad energy or vibe around them. Or maybe you feel all of a sudden you start thinking about someone and you feel this negative energy. You don't know why. Why am I thinking about that person? That person might be thinking negatively about you, or the opposite. You might all of a sudden be thinking about your crush. It just popped up into your head and wow, it feels so good. And I just feel this warmth, this beauty inside me, and I want to talk to them. Maybe they are thinking about you. And it's like that with any relationship. So even now, I had not a fight with somebody, but, just a little scheduling thing. And I felt that their energy, they were annoyed or pissed off at me. Right now, I'm just going to think about them. I'm saying, it's all good. I'm sorry. We'll see each other soon. I'm literally thinking that the energy. And it's already calming me down. And now I believe that on the other side, it's lessening it for them, right? And Eckhart Tolle talks about this a little bit, and he talks about how, especially with very negative vibes, right? You hate someone. Maybe someone at work annoys you, and you can't stop thinking about them, hours on end when you get home, or even when you're at work and you're sitting at your desk and this person who's sitting across from you, you're so annoyed at them. They do something that's pissing you off and you're just angry about it. And you're wondering, why aren't they nice to me? It's because even though you may be looking nice and smiling in their face, they can feel that energy. And some people are more conscious of this energy, and people who are sensitive will feel it more than others. So I think it's just a great thing to know and understand. Whether it's hard, I can't really prove it, but it doesn't really matter. It's just my theory. You can choose to believe it or you can choose not to believe it. Either way, if for some reason there is no connection, there is no real energy, then at least you are putting yourself at peace. You know, when you feel a very strong negative energy towards somebody, it takes energy away from you. This is energy that can be put into exercising or being productive or being conscious or being in the moment or being happy or doing so many beautiful, awesome things, right? There's so much good in the world. There's so much positive energy in the world. We need to be careful and conscious of what our bodies and our minds and our energies are doing. That's why when you are conscious, you are either at a base level, which is just chill. It's neither happy nor sad, or you're happy, because being conscious is never negative. I mean, you might be conscious and you go through an accident or something, but because of being conscious, you realize this is just life. This is something that's happening. It's neither positive nor negative, right? But to wrap it all up, we're at 16 minutes. I know I go all over the place and I'm thinking about different things or talking about different things, but to sum it up, all up, basically, I'm just telling you to look at your relationships, your happy ones and your positive ones and your negative ones and your sad ones, your angry ones, and even the small little annoying ones, usually at work or something, or a friend of a friend that always comes around and you're annoyed. Just take a moment, think about that person, and give them good energy. Also, past relationships, exes, maybe people that you thought did you wrong or screwed you over or screwed you up. You know, there's a lot of pain and hurt from past relationships. And it's so great if you can just let them go. You know, let their energy go. They have a hold on you. They are probably not even thinking about you anymore. Maybe they are. They probably aren't, though. If they broke up with you or they didn't want to be in a relationship with you, you got to realize that it was meant to be that way. And that to hold negative energy against that person is just detrimental to yourself. And to move past them, give them good energy, give them a, hey, I hope you're doing well, take care, no worries about the past, is so much help to you, to your mentality, to your future, and all the amazing things that are coming your way. So this is just another tool to add, another thing to be conscious of. The energies that you output towards people can affect them and affect you greatly. So clear the air, give them a happy, positive greeting and tell them, hope everything's all good. You don't ever have to see that person again. But you will clear the air and clear up all the negative, bad stuff. Anyways, that is Paradigm Shift for today, episode 7. We're popping them out. I'm going to be dropping more to help you, to help myself. You know, it's not all just about helping you. These things are things that I'm thinking about, that I'm going through, that I watch my videos, I listen to myself and I'm like, yeah, dude, I need to work on that, right? So I'm not some perfect guru. I'm just a dude who has studied for years and as now feels that I can teach other people while helping myself. So really appreciate you listening to me, watching me. Drop a like, share it, tell friends who you think they might need this. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Peace. That was weird. Who cares? We're living in the moment. Peace out.